Hello, my name is Susha Lukido. I am with the IBM Federal Software Group based out of the Washington, D.C. metro area. And today I am recording a two-part series of demos. The first part of the demo will be focused on a mashup that we already built for you. And this is trying to help you visualize how a mashup could be useful within your organization. So we're using a hurricane scenario, and we will be going through that scenario within this first part. Now, the second part would be focused more on how we get here, because we know that all organizations have a lot of data that is already existing, ready to be used, but may not necessarily be useful. Now, a tool like IBM Mashup Center can really take that data and build a useful application within a very short period of time. So the second part will go through the process of creating feeds and how we bring in various data. Some might be public and some might be coming within your organization. So let's get started. So here we have a mashup space which have more than one pages. So we have three pages here. We have the welcome page, and then we also have the hurricane preparedness page. Um, Now, if some of you are not familiar with the mashup, I like to just go over some of the basic terminology very briefly. So a mashup is a lightweight web application that can be created by combining information or capability from various sources that will deliver new functions and insights. And mashup usually doesn't take too much time to build. That's one of the powerful feature of the mashups. So you're really looking at days and not months or not even years. And one of the strengths also is the fact that we are reusing existing capability, like your existing data or application. And typically, a mashup does not require as much of a technical skill to master as some of the application tools, like for example, some language like Java or .NET and so on. So what you see here is a mashup page with a number of widgets on it. So widgets is this little application that can be dropped into a mashup page, and it's a very similar concept to what a lot of people are familiar with, which is Google Gadget. So it's basically the same thing, and different vendor has different names for these. So we call this widgets within the context of IBM Mashup Center. Now, widgets can communicate with other widgets through wiring. That's the term that we use within IBM Mashup Center. So for example, county selection here is wired to three different widgets within this page. It's wired to the historical hurricane tracks, the capacity and population growth, and the shelter location and capacity. So if I change the county selection to Camden, for example, and click submit, then you can see how everything is being refreshed, and now the data is for the county Camden rather than what we have before, which is Bryan. Now here you might recognize that the county name here is a list of county from the state of Georgia, and we just happen to select the county of the state of Georgia just because that's where we can find most of our data. But it's not necessarily have to be that way. So for example, this county selection widget could be extended so that you can first select a state and then select a county and select a city. So there's a lot of different implementation that you could have done here. So let's take a little bit a closer look at this mashup. There's actually more to this page. If you scroll down, you could also see the hurricane strike versus population for the selected county, and there are also a couple of different feeds. For example, hurricane outlook, discussion, warning, and weather advisories. All of those are feeds that we just bring in here to help anticipate a hurricane situation. So you might wonder what kind of people would be interested in this kind of mashup. So there's a couple of different roles for this. For example, it could be useful for a private citizen who might want to be more prepared for an upcoming hurricane. So I might be just a citizen who's worried about Hurricane Earl that people has been talking about these days, and I wanted to know what's the historical data like, and then if anything does happen, where are the shelters, where's the capacity, and so on. Um, so this first page of the mashup is really focused more on being prepared. If we move on to the other page, the volunteer coordination, the focus here now is on an aftermath of a hurricane. So a hurricane already strikes, and now we have all these people with who are the victims of the hurricane, who may not have electricity, may not have clean water or food, and their house is probably in a really bad shape, flooded, or whatever else that might have happened. So in situation like that, what we notice is that in most city and counties, usually there's organization being formed up and to help these victims to be able to get back to their feet. And they usually would get some help from different charities, organization in the area, or different church group. So in order for all that to work properly, it's important that there is some kind of coordination. So a tool like Mashup could really be valuable for that, because then you could help matching the need and with what is available out there in terms of who's willing to help and donate their time. So here in this page, you could see to the right there's a map widget, which is showing all the different requests of help that has been requested by people affected by the hurricane. So this mashup is just focused on showing you what's in there once the data has been entered, but we did not show how the data is entered. So it could be handled different ways. So for example, you might have a separate application where you enter that, or it could be even something as simple as a spreadsheet, and then you create a feed out of that to bring that in and show that visually on the map. And we will go over that type of information in part 2 of this recording. So if you notice within this map, if I close this information box a little bit, you could see different colors. So the requests are color coded. So for example, let me expand this filtering widget here. That's just so that I can see the different status that is available out there. So red would be input, which means the request has been inputted, but nothing has been done to it. And then yellow is associated. That means it's been associated with the volunteer organization that would be assisting this person or this group of people. And schedule would be, now we already have a time scheduled for them to come in and help. And for example, certain people might just need food, water, or maybe they need some mold remediation, removing debris, and so on, depending on what it is that they need done. And then once it's scheduled and the volunteer go in there and do their work, then they will give an update to the volunteer coordinator, and then the coordinator would update the status, and then it will show up here as completed, and completed would be green. So if I'm a coordinator and I wanted to be able to focus more on certain status, I have a little filter widget here that would help me do that. And this filter widget right now is only allowing you to filter the data based on status, but it could very easily be expanded to, say, filter by type or some other criteria. So let me go ahead and just filter this by whatever has just been inputted. So now I only see the ones that has been inputted and nothing else has been done to it on the map. Now on this page, you also see some other useful information like road closure. So if I'm helping out and I'm making my way to somebody's house to try to do some fixes, I might want to avoid some of these roads if I know that they are closed. So it's very useful information. And some other thing like the city traffic. So there's a feed from the citytraffic.com, and also there's a little timeline widget here that help me, as maybe I'm a supervisor of this coordinator, and I can tell, from the time that it's inputted, how long does it take until it's completed. So that describes the hurricane pages and the volunteer coordination. And now if I want to share this page with somebody else, for example, then what I can do is there's a couple of ways I can do that. For example, I can publish this on my blog page or on a simple web page. So in order to do that, what I would do is I'm going to go click on share and then display on the web page, and what it gives me is a little scriptlet that I can copy and paste to whatever web page I wanted to show it as. So this is a very similar concept to YouTube, where you could embed a YouTube recording in any web page. And if I minimize here, I have already set up a simple HTML page which I copy from Google. So if I just open this right now, it will be a very simple Google page. And if I wanted to embed my mashup in there, I can open it on with some kind of text editor, and I have copied that scriptlet earlier, so I can just go ahead and paste it, and then I save it, and then now if I refresh that, then there it is. Obviously I didn't take the time to adjust the width or the height, but I can do that at the time where I generate that scriptlet. So so this is the conclusion of part 1 of the recording, and please proceed and listen to the part 2 of the recording. Thank you for listening.